Pandora Productions is really Louisville's only GLBTQ theater company. That is what our mission is. That's what we devote ourselves exclusively to. Quite simply put, our mission is to educate the broader community on GLBTQ issues and to hopefully take the fear out of seeing gay people in our lives, making gay people appear normal to people, because we really are. You know, all we want is what everybody else has. And that's really all. Just telling the stories of our community and sharing those with the broader community. And when it works most perfectly, the shows speak to a broader issue that affects everyone, not just our community. That's when our shows, I think, work the best and are most successful. Which I think is one of the reasons why shows like Zanna Don't and last year's Oh My Godmother, which was a similar storytelling style, fairy tale sort of storytelling style, I think that's why they work so well and they become so popular, because they are so non-threatening to the broader community, and they can relate to them because they grew up with those fairy tales. They just have a different twist on them now, and it's entertaining to see them in a different way. If in 30 years the gay community is so integrated into the broader human community that it's not considered abnormal, it's not different, it's not, it doesn't have to be just tolerated, it's just part of the world, and Pandora's mission is no longer something that needs to be worked on in our society, then Pandora can go away. That's part of our vision, is broader acceptance and just integration into the world at large. Once that vision and that mission is accomplished, poof, I don't have a job. That's a wonderful thing. I will not mourn the passing of that at all. That would be a wonderful day. Zanna Don't presumes that the world is homosexual, and boys love boys, girls love girls. There's just no question about that. That is normal in Hartsville. And at Hartsville High, Zanna is the local matchmaker. And he puts the boys and boys together and the girls and girls together. Trouble ensues, however, when they decide to do a socially relevant musical for their school play about accepting heterosexuals into the military. And so they create this musical, and the two leads, a boy and a girl, happen to follow the storyline of the musical, the play within the play, and actually find that they have a fondness for one another. And when they're caught kissing, then things go awry, shall we say. And that's what Zanna Don't is about.
That's how they won! Join the Army, join the Air Force, join the Coast Guard, join the Marines. Work together, sweat together, shower together, that's how it should be.
I heard about the show from one of our board members the second time, and I had heard about it several years ago, had ordered the recording, had listened to it, and at that time I guess I wasn't ready for it. You know, I often think that you're ready for things when they come your way, or you're not. And at the time I don't think I was, apparently, because it didn't strike a chord with me and it didn't make me think, oh, I got to do that musical. But then when the board member presented it to me as an option last year, and I read it and listened to it, I was completely enchanted and fell in love with it. And I am still in love with it to this day. In fact, my love affair with this show grows more deep every day. It's so powerful in such an unassuming way. Tim Acito wrote the book, music, and lyrics for the show. You know, and that may be one of the reasons why I stayed away from it the first time, because I find that when one person does all three, it's not always a strong show. And I may have come into it the first time with preconceived notions about it. He did have someone who did write some additional book and lyrics. Once I think it went to Off-Broadway. And Jay Rodriguez of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy fame played Zanna in the Off-Broadway production. Stylistically, the show is written sort of as a fantasy fairy tale. It's not science fiction by any stretch, and it's not a cartoon either, but it is fairy tale-like. In fact, one of the subtitles, I think, on the CD case says a musical fairy tale, and I do use that in the marketing. And I think that describes it pretty well. And the story kind of follows the story of Cinderella in a way. There's a character, and I'll put air quotes around character. She flies in and informs the lead about what's going on around Hartsville, which gives him the idea that he needs to fly off and help. You know, he runs around with a magic wand, and he's kind of a fairy godmother type in a way, as he matchmakes these schoolmates of his. So I'd say fairy tale. And you know, when we discussed the show conceptually with the designers, I said I want it to look like a fairy tale. Bold colors, not cartoony, not really bigger than life, but fairy tale-like. The show is written with a cast of 8 in mind. I'm doing it with 12. And the reason I did it with 12 is because I like doing musicals with larger casts, because it fills out the sound. The main characters are written to play some minor characters, but I chose an ensemble of 4 people who play minor characters, and they play all of the minor characters. And for us, I think that works out better because there's plenty of them and there's plenty for them to do. And so consequently, they get to be in all the big numbers. This show is in the Bingham Theatre at Actors Theatre, and we've not worked in that theater before. So I'm not even sure I know what all the challenges are yet. I have done plenty of theater in the round. In fact, I prefer doing theater in the round or on a thrust configuration. I like the audience to be all around us, because I really like to shake up the relationship with the audience. I like the audience to feel like they're part of the story, and I definitely think they will in this. We're not using the Bingham in the round, however. We're blocking off 3 sections, and so we'll use it as a thrust configuration, so we'll have audience on 3 sides. So that's a little bit easier than doing it in the round. For actors, it's much harder. You know, we're considered community theater, so we don't often get professional actors. With this show, we're lucky we have a few, and they don't have any trouble because some of them have worked in the round. But some who haven't worked in the round, that's an adjustment. I remember when I worked as an actor the first time in the round, because you never knew where the audience was. And they're everywhere. And as soon as you sort of get that through your head, it's like, oh, well, I can't really make a mistake as long as I keep moving. Please come see Zanna Don't, a musical fairy tale sponsored by Cornerstone Group Realtors. We are playing at the Bingham Theatre at Actors Theatre of Louisville, May 19th through the 29th. Tickets are $18 in advance, $20 day of show, and they can be obtained by calling 502-216-5502 or visiting our website at www.pandora.prods.org. Hope to see you there.
When the alarm clock rings, you know I've got to start to sing, thinking about the joy the day's gonna bring. Love is all around, it just has to be found. My job is making sure it gets spread around. I knew the day of my birth that I was put on this earth to make sure no one suffers extra love. So you can leave it to me, it's my responsibility to pass it on to someone without enough. I seek out the truth, I'm a love sleuth. I'm going undercover for a lover who might not find another.